Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. This is Leah with Ode to Paper, and I have a special kind of series for you this month, and possibly a little bit longer than this month. I'm going to be creating scrapbook layouts, but I'm using digital stamps that I've colored with Copic markers, pencil crayons, even watercolored. And I'm showing you how I use them in my scrapbook layouts to create absolutely unique scrapbook layouts. So this month I'm focusing a lot on Joy Clair Stamps because I'm a guest designer for them this month. And I just found out I will be also designing next month as well, which I'm super excited about. I love florals. They are my favorite thing to color, and I can find a use for them in any scrapbook layout. So for this layout in particular, this is kind of a um, heritage, but not heritage, but it's kind of that style of layout. And my goal for this project is to actually put it in a frame and give it as a gift this Christmas. So I wanted it to be very classic looking. The photo itself is very classic looking. It was taken at my partner's daughter-in-law and son's wedding 2 years ago, and with their two little girls and her mom. So I printed it in black and white, and it is just a stunning photograph. So I wanted it to be a classic layout. So I have some sheets. I have wood grain from P13. I have that paper there, which I cannot remember where it's from, but it's very, very old. And then the background is like a super old one from Echo Park, maybe. Can't even tell you for sure. But super old layouts, super old papers, but they just worked perfectly. This digital stamp that I have is called Spring Bouquet from Joy Clair Stamps. And what I did was I colored it several times. So I colored it once in that really gorgeous brown color, and then I colored it again with a really rich peachy pink. And the two of them just balance each other beautifully with the paper and the wood grain paper. So I've got one full image. The brown ones are the full image. And then what I did was I cut the flowers out of the other two images. So all I have are flowers from the peach ones, and then I have the full greenery from the brown ones. And I really, really love how this page turned out. So I'm going to put a wide mat with that wood grain paper. Now I did mat the photo first with that really old lacy looking paper. It was very thin. It's not one I would use for a background because it was just too thin. But for a mat, it worked perfectly and the colors were great. And then I have the wide mat with the wood green paper, and I'm just trying to figure out the placement of all of my flowers. So I do end up with some Nicole Jones 911 designs, embellishments, some other printables. I end up with some wood veneer, some tickets. There's some circular elements from Nicole Jones, some labels from Nicole Jones, the viewfinder. I love the addition of the tickets. The tickets kind of, I don't know what it is, but I really like it. And I wanted to get this clock on here, but I didn't want the whole tag. The tag didn't look right because the colors were off. But so what I did was I cut the clock out. Why not? I'll use it as a large embellishment to start a cluster, and there we go. So what I love about this layout in particular, and in general, is using digital stamps, is that number one, I can color them whatever color I want. And it doesn't matter what medium I use. These ones in particular, I used Copic markers. I have more coming up that I've used Copic markers as the base and pencil crayons for the details. So it doesn't matter what the medium is, I can still choose my color and I can really focus it on a particular layout. So a particular color palette. These wood veneer are from Sweet Stamps. They're quite a few years old. When I was on their design team, I had some left over and I found them the other day. So they worked out really well because they're little flourishes, some flowers. So I used those, in conjunction with the Copic flowers to just kind of balance the whole thing out. So I get some of those flourishes down. I have some cameras from Nicole Jones. I have words. And I'm just going to go find it right now. There we go. So yeah, I have words. I have one, an arrow with a word that says summer. I am going to use my T-square ruler because I cannot put anything down straight on my own without it. So it's a staple on my desk. Same with those little Fisker scissors. That's what I cut everything out with. I fussy cut a lot of stuff, and that's what I use to fussy cut. I like them so much, I bought 3 pairs. So there's a pair everywhere that I sit. All right, so we have another arrow with words down in the bottom left-hand cluster that says memories, which was just perfect for this. And I'm just placing all of my embellishments down. Am I gluing them down yet? Hard to tell. I don't think I'm gluing them yet. Maybe I am. Oh. Nope, just playing around, looking at everything, just trying to get things exactly right. Because I knew when I was working on this piece that I wanted to give it as a gift. And I think she will love this. I'm going to get a nice frame for it, little shadow box frame. So I'm using some dimensional adhesive, and I love this stuff. This is the dimensional adhesive from Sweet Sentiment, and they're called Sweet Pops. So they work fabulous. Underneath my photo, I'm not sure if I showed you that, but my photo is actually popped up on foam. So it's just adhesive on one side, fun foam, and that's what I use under all of my photos, just to bump them up a little bit. Gives you a little more space to tuck things underneath, gives you some more dimension. So it looks like I am gluing everything down in this top cluster. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to move down to the main cluster, which is right underneath, right at the bottom of the photo. So it's going to be all of those florals. And I just love them. They turned out so well. And they match this layout so nicely. So I'm going to put some of it down, but I'm also going to pop some of it up so that it has a flat spots and then it has dimensional spots. And I really love adding that dimension to clusters. It just brings the whole thing to life. And yep, some of these pieces were very tiny to fussy cut, very tiny to put adhesive under, but it was totally worth it. All of it was worth it. I think the toughest part about this was figuring out where to place the peach flowers, because I wanted them to balance, but I didn't want them to take over. And that's a delicate balance. So when I'm looking at it now, I'm looking and I realize most of the peach flowers are on the right side of the photo. And I did not realize that before. So I think it's okay because not all of them are on the right side. There's still that, one on the left, but It is what it is. They're not moving now, but it still turned out absolutely gorgeous. I am so in love with this piece. So I'm going to get that pink one, that peach one down on the left. I'm going to pop up a little corner of it on top of that other brown flower, which is also popped up. But here's the thing. That's what adds so much life to this, is that you've got dimension and then a little bit more dimension on top of that. It's not super thick. This adhesive foam is not super thick, so it's just the right kind of dimension. Not too much, but enough that you can tell. So I'll get those down, and now I'm looking at the placement for the cluster on the left, and this is where I wanted to put those tickets in. The tickets that I chose were both printables. I believe one is from Tracy Reed. The other one, I couldn't tell you where it's from. It is so long ago that I printed it out, and I've had it in my stash for so long. And then I have some labels, some rectangular labels, some fancy labels, and circular labels from Nicole Jones, as well as one of her cameras. And I've also got a camera up in the top right. So one of her cameras, another one of those arrows with words that says memories. And I'm going to add, again, some of those flourishes, those wood veneer flourishes. And yeah, like I'm just kind of gluing down little stray bits that I don't want to end up folded or broken off. So I'm just making sure everything is really secure, because this layout is so important to me that it's perfect, because it's going to be a gift. All right, so I am just looking at some more of the wood veneer. I'm going to look at, do I get more on there? I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, I'm going to tuck that one in there right behind that pink floral on the right. Add some adhesive foam behind those tickets. Now, I realized after this was done that it needs a frame. It needs that frame to finish it off. So I looked at the wood grain. Nope, that makes it too dark. I do end up going with just white cardstock. And the white cardstock just brightens everything up and finishes it off nicely. It needed that frame. Sometimes I notice that layouts need a frame, and sometimes they just don't. They're perfect without it. This one definitely needed the frame. And surprisingly, I got this frame on here without too much trouble, because usually I have a hard time with that. I have a hard time getting them even, getting them straight. And I'm looking at it. It's not totally perfect, but it's pretty good. And while I'm doing this voiceover, I'm looking at the layout itself and realized I used my tape dispenser to adhere this to the white frame, but that's a textured cardstock, so it didn't stay very well. So I'm just tacking it down with some wet glue right now. So I'm going to, of course, straighten it up with my trimmer, because that's how we roll. And the last couple of things I'm going to put on are enamel dots. Oh, yes, I did add some more foam around the outside of the photo mat, because I had put a small piece of foam behind it, and I didn't want the wood grain cardstock to sag, bend, anything like that. So I did add some more foam behind there just to shore that up. But after that, the only thing I have left is enamel dots and my gold spray. So my enamel dots are a Gina Marie designs in 3 different colors. So I use a translucent peach color, a really dark brown for the contrast, and then I also added some matte off-white, which the 3 different textures is lovely. Lovely. And then to finish it off, I add my Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in iridescent gold. It is my, I was going to say it's my favorite. Yes, it's my favorite. It's also the only gold spray I've ever had. So when I run out, I'm going to have to find something new or see if I can still get this one because I absolutely love this one. It's very light gold, so it's not that bright yellow. It's just the perfect gold. So I will get all of these added on, and while I'm here, I will have a link down below for Joy Clair Designs, as well as Nicole Jones 911 Designs, because I've used some of her embellishments, and I'll give you my code down below for a 10% discount. However, the focus of this layout is, of this video, sorry, is the digital stamps that I've colored. So that's Joy Clair Designs. I'll put the link down below to the shop and also directly to that stamp set in particular. It's absolutely stunning. All of her florals are beautiful. And then you can stay tuned to see some more of my layouts this month. I have a lot more Joy Clair stamps coming up. I also have some layouts using images from, oh, yeah, just went totally blank. Whimsy stamps, Jaded Blossom. I have Twist Tune. Yeah, I have all kinds coming up. I just kind of went and had a blast with digital images this past month. So I had a great time. I've created a lot of layouts and projects for you, and I'll have those coming up soon. So, oh, my title. I totally forgot about my title. My title is Timeless because this is an absolutely gorgeous and timeless photo. And I want this to be something that they can hang on to and, reminisce about for years and years to come. And hopefully pass down and, it'll become kind of a family heirloom. So yeah, Timeless is my title. And I'm using the Puffy Alphas from, I love this alpha set. This is my favorite story from Pink Fresh. And what a beautiful, beautiful Puffy Alpha sticker set. It's from 2019. I just love it. If I can find more of it, I'll probably see if I can stock up on it because it's that white puffy, but it has that little touch of gold detail on each letter. Very, very, very classy looking. So I kind of fiddle around with where I'm going to put that, and I ultimately end up deciding to put it along the side of the photo. Just like that. And yeah, I do glue down the letters. One of the things that one of the issues I have with any alpha is that I have a hard time getting them to stick. So I do glue them down just like I do with my enamel dots. I glue everything down. So I'm going to get these on here and call it done. And that'll be it for me. And I will see you again very, very soon with some more layouts for this series using colored digital stamps in my scrapbook layouts. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you again soon.